Hey guys, day 3 of the 2-year-old journey. This is the first day that Kate didn't move her feet from the flag, so I'm going down all 4 legs and touch on her head. So I want to make sure that the feet, she understands standing still first. Then I'm taking it to another level here. I ground tie her and bring my dressage whip out and start desensitizing her while she's ground tied. And as long as she keeps facing me like that, I just keep going until she stops. A lot of times they'll stop themselves. So I'm always trying to give them an opportunity to find the answer without me helping too much. I find it makes them really easy to train. So I just put her back to the point of ground tie. Then I grab my pad and I just throw it on her and pat her back down. So you can see that's where most of the resistance is from her back. That's all data that I'm collecting from 2 exercises, actually 2 lessons. The rope around the girth and not having much or any reaction from that around her belly and her flank. And then when I brought the pad out, finding all that resistance in the pad. So this is the second day that I threw the saddle on her. I threw it on her before and then took it off so I didn't have to cinch it. I like to break that up so I'm not cinching her the first day she has that saddle on her back on one that has some issues in her back, which she does. I already told you that. So today when I do cinch her, I want you to just pay attention. I've got this all in real time so you can see the time frame I take. First of all, I want to make sure she'll give me that neck, nose, and 1 step back so I know she's following a feel, listening to my halter. And when I run that rope, I just run my latigo through there 1 time and then just suck it up and pull on her because it gets a quick release when it's only through the cinch 1 time. And then I tug it faster till I don't get a reaction. And like I said, that wasn't really the problem with her when I tested her out with the rope. So yeah, now that I'm going to run it through, I go through 2 times and then suck it up 1 time. And I go pretty fast and get it pretty firm and then just hold it there for a second and see what her reaction is, and I loosen it off, and then the next time I can pull it up for the final. And I usually do the front cinch first, and then if I got a breast collar on, which I normally do, I'll do the breast collar next. So when I do the breast collar up, I want to make sure it's snug, it fits snug, because it'll help hold that saddle on if something happens. And then I do the back cinch, because sometimes before I had that, I developed that habit before I had that rope trick. But sometimes when you pull the back cinch into them and you don't know about it, you'll find a surprise there. But when doing that rope exercise from their girth back to their flank gives me the opportunity to get a good read on them. So then when I take the halter off, I generally always send them the first time at Liberty if I'm in round pin. Now if I've got her on a halter, then I can, and I don't have a round pin, I can send her, but I do want to keep the same principles intact. I don't want to try to force her to stop bucking, but if she hits the end of my line, I got to stop her. I don't like to, but if she bucks and don't hit the end of my line, I just keep pushing her just like I'm going to do here at Liberty. That being said, I don't want to tiptoe around any bucking issue. Like if she started to buck right now, I'd carry on pushing her through the buck. I definitely don't want to release if I see any signs of buck or resistance. So always remember, guys, what you release for is what you teach. If you don't want them to rear, you can't release when they rear. If you don't want them to buck, you can't release when they buck. So I find you have to really wrap your head around that in order for that to stay pure through the whole program, and that's definitely what we're doing. I'm just looking for a reason to trot because she's proven to walk, and she stops her feet while mine are still moving right here. So you see, as soon as I seen she was going to stop, I started lifting my hand, and I follow through with that build of pressure till she trots. I release for the trot, maintain the trot for a little while, then let her stop. I just want to keep repeating the steps. So I release for 1 step, then I release for a walk, then I stayed at the walk till she gave me a reason to trot, then I release for the trot. Now I'm going to let her give me a reason to lope, And as soon as I push her into a lope, then she starts this little jump around stuff. And you can see the way she's bucking, it is her back. Like, it doesn't surprise me the way she's bucking, she's hopping. So that's the way I find most horses buck like this, when they just hop on their front feet. If it's a back issue, she's just bouncing up into that saddle. She's just hopping up into that saddle, because that's where the resistance is her back. I find if it's a girth issue, they do more exploding and they jump up and they'll launch off their back feet. And the buck is way more violent. I wouldn't classify her as a bucker by no means, but I see lots of these horses. I've fixed lots of these horses over the time that would be the kind of horse that they only buck when you ask them for a lope or a canter. And it's an easy fix. You can mostly do it from the round pin here. So all I'm doing is repeating the lesson of from a walk or a standstill up into a lope. And I'm going to keep doing that until I don't get or minimize that hopping. And so you'll see that's going to happen here pretty quick. Well, she was late, so I had to hurry her up a little bit. Give her that time. This is on twice the speed. I'm just watching for that. There, she had a little hop again, but it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. And that's what I'm gauging on. Do I do it again? Like, do I think I can get more out of her? And that's just experience. So because she tried to turn back and go the other way, that was the time that I really sent her more. And then I sent her more. And then I sent her again. And then I sent her again. You can still see she's hopping. So I let her, there we go. That's the first time that she didn't, and that's the second time that she didn't buck. And I'm calling it a buck. It's not really a buck, but that's the second time I didn't see any elevation in her. And she had the smoothest rhythm that I could get. So this is the reason that I'm going to switch sides. So I'm just letting her stop over there. And she stops at my shoulder nice, so I'm going to let her chill for a bit. Then I switch and, I just get head down. And then I'm going to go the other direction. And this side, she's not too bad. Like, it's, that was a nice rhythm. She kind of went out of view there. And then I just check her out again because she turned in, give me a reason to push her again. And she had a nice rhythm, didn't elevate. So I let her, she stopped at my shoulder line. That's all good. So then I'm going to take her back the other direction. And this is where you'll see her challenge a direction. Because she got such a short send to her right, it's motivated her now to want to go to the right. See, now she just turned back and she's refusing my turn. But notice I just don't step over there and make her. I just keep the turn command on and focus on the release when she does turn and let her have a rest for that. Is it, like I said, guys, you got to wrap your head around releasing for the right thing, not punishing for the wrong thing. Now, if you go at it slow and smooth with your pressure, sending her won't be a punishment. She will figure it out. But if I go at her too rough and aggressive with my taps or my pressure, now she leans more to seeing that more as a punishment when she's done something wrong versus a reward when she does something right. It's totally two different issues there, guys. And there again is the reason we spend so much time working on our delivery of pressure and how smooth we can get that all sorted out, that our taps just smoothly take off from where our pressure ends. So and I'm just sending her back and forth because she didn't stop at my shoulder line. So I'm just going to make sure she's turning back, so I just resend her again slow. So I'm working on shoulder line because she gave me a reason to work on turns. And when I ask a horse to stop at my shoulder line, the outside turns is going to be the correction for that. So I wanted to do that a little bit just so it give me an opportunity to polish up her outside turns a little bit. But then she bought into it real quick and didn't have to go very long. And she's going to honor my shoulder line real nice here. She thought about turning, didn't do it. Thought about coming in, didn't do it. And now I'm just going to turn and call her in. So that's the end of this lesson, guys. Hope you enjoyed and understand everything I said. Take care, and I will see you on the next one.